Hey guys, at some point in our lives, each of us has probably dreamed of buying a house somewhere in a quiet and peaceful place, away from the city hustle and the sounds of horns, with kind and helpful neighbors ready to come to the rescue and provide support in difficult times. Life is usually slower and simpler in these quiet suburbs than in the metropolises, which is the very charm of this kind of life. But sometimes, even in those seemingly safe neighborhoods, strange and even somewhat creepy things can happen. Things that even the police can't explain. But as our next story shows, when even the most mysterious cases get solved, they will usually make you smile. Now we'll transport to the suburbs of the city of Altoona, USA, where strange things began to happen about a year ago. It all started when one morning, the owner of one of the houses woke up and couldn't find her shoes. She left a pair of sneakers in the hallway literally the night before. Even though the woman found it quite strange, she decided to write it off to her age. She never did find them though. But then there was more. Various small things, but mostly shoes, began to disappear from houses in different parts of the entire block. The owners were perplexed, especially since sometimes the shoes would disappear one at a time, as in a left shoe would disappear today and the other would be gone the next day. Of course, they were all shocked and couldn't understand what was going on. Some victims even called the police, especially those whose shoes disappeared from inside their house. After all, it had to mean that someone went inside their house during the night, but they were unable to find anything or anyone. The cops were also perplexed by the fact that nothing of value ever disappeared. Only the old slippers, sneakers, and shoes that no one really needed would get stolen. So the robber got nicknamed the Shoe Thief. This case had every chance of remaining unsolved, making the city's detectives suffer from many sleepless nights, but eventually falling into the archives, where it would end up collecting dust for several years. Then one post of a local resident changed everything. And most importantly, it finally shed some light on this dark and confusing matter. As it turned out, about 2 years ago, a woman named BJ of Altoona, USA, took in a black and white kitten, which she later named Jordan. Like any other cat, the only things Jordan did were eat and drink, and when he got older, he began to purposely annoy the one-eyed veteran neighbor's dog. It would seem that there was nothing special about it. The cat was engaged in his important cat affairs, while his owner led a quiet life. It all lasted until about 6 months ago, when BJ's simple lifestyle was disrupted. The cat's owner began to notice someone else's shoes around her house. There were more and more of them over time. After giving it some thought, she came to the only possible conclusion regarding the shoe's origin. The only possible suspect was named Jordan and was peacefully sleeping in the corner, most likely sleeping off his nighttime adventures. But as they say, no one's a thief until they're caught, and violating one's rights isn't good, even if it's a cat. So in order to confirm her suspicions, BJ decided to install a camera in her yard and put a GPS tracker on the suspect's collar. What BJ saw a few days later really shocked her, to say the least. On the very same night, the woman got her first evidence. The camera in the yard showed Jordan's true nature. That night, the cat came back to the yard several times, carrying something in her teeth, and going back out, skillfully looking around as if he were a real criminal afraid of getting caught. That morning, BJ found 4 shoes neatly stacked near her house. That's when the case finally made some progress. Be it as it may, 2 months later, BJ had 50 shoes lying around. And a little later, Jordan had a whole collection of them. That's when BJ decided to put an end to this. The shoes had to be returned somehow, but she had no idea who they belonged to. She decided to start by creating a Facebook group where she wrote about her cat thief, apologized for him, and promised to return all shoes to their rightful owners if they contacted her. BJ also attached evidence finally identifying the culprit, who's been terrorizing the whole block for a long time. The photo clearly showed the cat carrying sneakers in his teeth. She captioned the picture saying, "He steals shoes that he can't even wear." On another night, the camera also caught the cat at his craft. It's obvious that he does it deliberately, masterfully jumping over the fence with his catch in his teeth, not letting any of his relatives take it away. All this evidence only testified to the fact that Jordan was clearly in great authority among the other cats. BJ also took several photos of her cat's collection, saying that everyone was welcome to identify their shoes. But it was something else that was the most surprising: the route that the furry criminal took. The tracker revealed that Jordan covered quite a large area, visiting the same houses several times. It might be due to the fact that the cat liked bringing his owner a full pair of shoes, so he always had to return to the crime scene to get the other shoe, since, alas, he could only steal one shoe at a time. So in just one night, Jordan could walk for 11 to 13 kilometers, planning and carrying out a new robbery. When neighbors found out about this story, many of them found their shoes in the picture. The repeat offender, who set up an entire illegal warehouse at his owner's house, even caught the attention of the journalists. Reporters that arrived at the scene wanted to interview him, but as expected, the furry criminal named Jordan refused to talk to them and left the scene. But judging by his smug look, he didn't feel any shame over his profession as a criminal, since it wasn't just the neighbors, but the entire world that has now learned about Jordan. People from different countries commented, offering to send him their shoes. But he's probably more interested in the process itself, since he has long been on the criminal path, and by cat standards, is probably somewhere at the very top of the criminal hierarchy already. So that's the way he is, the furry criminal who steals shoes and brings them to his owner's house, and doesn't regret it in the least. And who knows, maybe we'll still hear about this furry weasel's part in some high-profile case. So, friends, what do you think about Jordan's adventures, and why do you think he does it? Be sure to let us know what you think in the comment section. And that's it for today. Rate our video if you liked it, and see you soon. Bye.